Brookwood Hills II subdivision, consisting of 93 homes, began in 1980 and has become one of the most sought-after areas of Bedford. The neighborhood community spirit can be seen in the attendance at various events and parties throughout the year. Homeowners care for their properties and have a great respect for the neighborhood and for one another. A home is often considered a family's biggest investment, and maintaining property values are of the utmost concern. While the common areas are owned by the City of Bedford, the Homeowners Association maintains them to make a more attractive neighborhood and to protect the homeowner's investment. Unfortunately, the infrastructure is nearly 40 years old and requires continuous maintenance and frequent repairs. Proposition: for quite some time, the HOA has been in an unsustainable financial position. The current Board of Directors, Chuck Remke, President, Amy Sable, Secretary, Joy Eckhart, Treasurer, and Ann Graves, Parliamentarian, no longer wish to continue on this path. These board members, as well as previous boards, have frugally cared for our common properties, many times holding fundraisers and donating both their time and financial resources to maintain and repair electrical equipment, irrigation, and planter boxes. With only 93 homes and yearly dues of $130, we currently collect $12,090 in revenue. The amount of these yearly dues has not been increased since 1994. The goal of the current board is to have a well-funded HOA which is capable of paying for all necessary services expected by the neighborhood residents. Here are the HOA dues of comparable neighborhoods in close proximity to Brookwood Hills II. Villages of Forest Ridge, $450. Rustic Woods, $300. Woodland Place, $300. Wendover Estates, $290. Glenbrook, $220. The information was obtained from the MLS. Dues. What do they pay for? The HOA maintains common areas that include 26,100 square feet. The islands at the Brookwood Boulevard entrance from Cummings Drive, 5 planter boxes at the entrances, and the areas along the sidewalks on the south and west side of the subdivision. The area from the entrance at Edgewater Drive South to Cummings and along Cummings Drive from Central Drive to just east of the creek is 2,800 feet. The 29 trees along Cummings and Central were planted by the original homeowners in Brookwood Hills II, thus making the HOA responsible for their care and upkeep, including trimming and removal when damaged. The 35 pine trees in the Brookwood Boulevard Islands are also the responsibility of the HOA. Dues. Itemized expenses. Here is a list of itemized expenses. Landscape and maintenance, $10,050. Electricity, $360. Copies, $300. Liability insurance, $250. Meeting room for annual meeting, $100. Post office box rental, $86. Postage, $75. Total normal annual expenses are $11,221. As you can see, maintenance of our landscape is the largest expense every year. Landscape maintenance includes mowing, edging, and checking the irrigation system, sprinkler repair, painting of the fence on Central, landscape plant material replacement. Less expensive vendors have been hired in the past, but because damage was done to the irrigation system by their mowers, Peterson Landscape was recently hired to mow, check, and repair the irrigation system. Because of the lack of grass on Cummings, mower blades must be lowered to cut the weeds. This puts the irrigation heads at greater risk. Other maintenance. In an effort to continue to have a uniform community, The fences along Central Drive are painted as needed by the HOA, another large expense. There are 14 residents on Oak Cove with fences that back up to Central. The budget allows for 3 fence paintings a year, but ideally the entire fence should be painted every 5 to 6 years to maintain the appearance of our common property. Additional services are needed. Insect control, pre-emergent, leaf pickup, additional fertilizer, the restoration and hanging of the Brookwood Hills II holiday decorations. The cost for these services would total $2,600. In the past, many of these extra services have been financed by our HOA officers through fundraising projects, their own sweat equity, and various financial contributions. Project Cummings Drive, $23,000. The most pressing Brookwood Hills II project is the renovation of the area along Cummings Drive, from Central Drive to the creek. This walkway could be an aesthetically pleasing area for our neighborhood. Unfortunately, not only is this area unsightly because there is no grass, but there is also an area where the soil is higher than the sidewalk. When it rains, mud slides onto the sidewalk, creating a slick and dangerous area for walkers. There is also a 215-foot area where the foundation of the brick wall is exposed. To correct this issue, an 8-inch tall rock edging with concrete footing needs to be installed to contain the soil and cover more of the exposed foundation. This is a proposed plan for the project. Bedford's current irrigation ordinance does not allow water to be sprayed over city sidewalks. In 2014, the board had bow tie style sprinklers installed next to the curb to prevent sidewalk overspraying. Any planned irrigation along the wall will have to be drip per city code. Because the area is heavily shaded, it will require shade-tolerant plants such as liriope, Asian jasmine, or zoysia grass. Project Central. Quotes for this project have not been obtained because it will be years before this could actually be done, even with an increase in dues. Regardless, here is the plan for Central Drive, from the entrance at Edgewater all the way to Cummings Drive. A major redesign and renovation of the irrigation along Central Drive is necessary. This area has a length of 1,450 feet. There is a 300-foot stretch of grass and weeds in which the soil is 2 to 4 inches higher than the sidewalk. Soil needs to be removed where it is necessary with sod and drip irrigation installed. The addition of crepe myrtle trees in the area between the sidewalk and the fences could also enhance the appearance of this side of the subdivision. In conclusion, in order to protect the residents' investments, the Brookwood Hills II Homeowners Association needs to financially sustain itself and allow for quality maintenance, repair of common areas, renovation of common areas. The annual budget should total at least $20,925 per year, which will increase the dues to $225 per year per resident. Our homes are our greatest investment. Our neighborhood common property reflects our investment. We must invest in our present and our future. What is our investment? A desirable, well-kept, and attractive community. Comments from neighborhood residents and realtors. We love the new lights installed in the boulevard. We drove the neighborhood at all times of the day before we purchased our home. The neighborhood was quiet at all times. We did notice the perimeter was not as nice as other neighborhoods, but we liked the home. When we moved here, we thought the common areas were shabby. It is good to see the improvements. Realtors have told us an attractive neighborhood is a huge selling point. It is a huge part of the sale.